What's going on, YouTube? This is Dre Knows back at it again, bringing you another video. So as I've mentioned, I want to say I mentioned it in my past video as well as I've mentioned it on my Twitch stream. So just trying to get consistent on this schedule where it'll be Monday, Wednesday, Friday / Saturday. I haven't really decided as of yet where I'll be uploading videos, and then Tuesday, Thursday, Friday / Saturday also. We'll be also Twitch streaming. For those of you who aren't aware, I do a live stream on Twitch. I'll drop the link down below, but it's just twitch.tv/Dre Knows, Dre_knows. So would appreciate you guys coming by, swinging through. Not really playing a whole lot of Madden, really, at least at this point of the year. I'm just burned out on Madden at this point. I'm not really going to be posting any more gameplays, although who knows, really, at this point. I remember like a couple weeks ago I said I wasn't going to be playing Madden, and then sure enough, I made a little team, this team right here actually, where, I just built this team with the coins that I had left, and after doing all 10 of the rookie premier sets. So that's where we're at right now, but like I said, just with everything that's going on, and the fact that we're still 2 months away from Madden 21, I just want to take this time just to take more of a, I guess you could say, more of a mental break. Just because, man, like, there's not, I mean, Madden 20 is not really worth playing anymore, especially now that, like, there's no more content, at least I don't think. And so, really, I don't feel like there's really anything to play for. I mean, Weekend League it's already a headache enough to play, so I'm really not trying to deal with that anymore, especially since I don't have the team that I had before with my All Seahawks team, with all the golden tickets or whatever. I don't have any of those guys anymore, so, really, I mean, for me, this is kind of it in terms of Madden 20. But, in terms of producing content, though, it's not going to stop me, though. So as far as kind of what the next couple months, the next month or so, or the next couple months videos are going to look like, mainly going to be posting, like, a lot of, like, well, for example, like the title of this video, this is just going to kind of give my thoughts on, how Madden 20 was this year, and I'm sure everyone, kind of has their own opinions on how it is, so I'm just kind of, throwing my hat in there just to, kind of give my thoughts and opinions on Madden 20. I'll probably do some, like, top 5 or top 10 lists as far as, like, who I expect to be, like, the top 5 players at each position, at least my predictions, so be on the lookout for that. If you guys are looking forward to that, consider subscribing to the channel, as we are going to be posting that type of content if that's something that interests you. So be on the lookout for that. And then mainly on my Twitch streams, just going to be playing just a lot of just random games, whether it be like 2K, which I do play from time to time, COD, even though I'm terrible at it now, but nonetheless still having fun at this point. So anyways, just to get to this video, so really today's video is just going to give my thoughts. I picked 3 things. It's probably gonna be more if it's, since I am kind of just freestyling this video. I'm not really using like script, or I don't really have any of this written down at this point. But I'm gonna say at the minimum 3 things that Madden 20 did do good, and then 3 things, although you could probably argue that there's a lot more things that Madden 20 didn't do good. I know for me, there's probably, or for most people, I mean, a lot of people say, oh, Madden 20 is a trash game, like there's nothing that they did good. And in some aspect, I agree with you, but I usually like to at least be pretty positive and kind of, see the good in some things, just because, if we didn't think there's at least one thing good, like, we wouldn't play this game. Let's be real here. So really the first thing, just to start off on a positive note, the first thing that I really did like about Madden this year was the player movement, just in terms of like running and whatnot. I felt like compared to Madden 19, where players running were kind of weird and just kind of clunky, Madden 20 did make an adjustment in that case. I did feel like the running was a lot smoother, and that was like the first thing that I noticed, especially whenever we played the beta last year. When we played the beta for Madden 20, I just noticed that the player movement was a lot faster, or a lot smoother, excuse me, and just felt way better than Madden 19. So at least that's one thing that I felt like they did good in that case. Another thing that they did good, and I'm probably this is probably going to be a hot take for some people, but I didn't, as much as I, slandered on it at the beginning of the year, the more and more I played the game, the more and more I kind of found myself actually not minding the X Factor / ability system. Now, that's not to say that it can't be tuned down a little bit. There are some things that they could work on, but, considering where it was at its first year, it wasn't terrible, at least in my opinion. I do like the fact that, they are trying to, trying to give some variety and give some players, to really stand out. I remember back an example of this, in years past where, like, in Madden, like, everyone played the same. An example of this was back in, I think it was Madden 17, for you guys who, played a lot of salary cap. You guys will remember the name Darius Bo Jackson is what we called him. Darius Jackson was a goon when it came to Madden 17, and he was only like a 60-something overall running back with really, really low cap, and that's why a lot of people used him, because he played really good, at least in my opinion. So, to me, in my opinion, there should never be a 60 overall player that just absolutely just dominates in that case. Another player that kind of comes to mind is, I think it was from the same year, Lonnie Ballantyne. A lot of people used him, but even when he wasn't being used, he still played really well, and he was like a 69, he was like a 60-something overall player in that case. So I think with the abilities and the X Factor system, it kind of helps really highlight like who the top players are. Now, these guys that are rolling out, trying to throw corner routes and then throwing 80-yard passes across the field, no, I think that's a little too much. So that's kind of the areas where I think there needs to be a little fine tuning there. And other than that, I mean, that's really all that I have. I mean, it really was tough for me to try to pick up at least a couple of things that, Madden did good. Outside of that, I mean, I did enjoy, some of the legends that did come out this year. We had seen some legends that we hadn't seen in a little bit of time. So, obviously, I know that's more of a MUT thing. That's not really a Madden thing. But I'm kind of, at this point, just kind of picking at straws. So, like I said, just want to, be positive about things, even though it was kind of a rough year, needless to say. So those are some of the things that I think that Madden did well, and hopefully they can just build on those things for next year. But, only time will tell really at this point. So, as far as the negatives, oh man. So the pursuit angles, that was probably the biggest thing for me, is how bad pursuit angles were this year. Like, they were so bad that it was so easy, I fell victim to it, where like I felt like I had a lot of stick just being able to just swerve in and out of tackles from people. But I think a lot of that just had to do with how bad the pursuit angles were. And like there'd be times where I feel like I would have run defense to blow up stretch run or whatever. And for whatever reason, whenever at the angle that my linebacker would come in, it was just terrible, and the running back would just run right by him. It was just really frustrating to deal with. From what I've seen in like the Madden 21, the recent like video that they came out with, and then also the deep dive, I think that's what it was. It sounds like they may have addressed that, but I'm interested to see what'll happen once the beta actually comes out. Once the beta is over with, though, I'll come back here and kind of give you guys just some highlights if you didn't get the chance to play the beta, which I don't really think there was an excuse, to be honest with you guys, because they clearly stated in that EA stream to sign up with your email, and obviously that was kind of a hint that that's where the beta was going to be coming in. But I feel like most of you guys did, because I want to say that stream was at like 8, almost 9. Well, no, it was like around 8 in the evening or something like that, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I feel like, it was a good opportunity for you guys to get the betas. If not, I know they're going to go do that whole situation with the whole beta codes, which I'm glad I don't have to deal with, because, over the last couple years, that was kind of annoying to deal with, really. So, pursuit angles, yeah, definitely, they gotta fix that. Hopefully they do with this new game coming next year. And then, obviously the run game was absolutely ridiculous, even with, even times when you felt like you had run defense, the run game was ridiculous. Just the blocking that you would get on specific runs, and the whole like thing with like the whole flipping, and just keep flipping until eventually you got the numbers game advantage and you were able to go ahead and take off. I just hated that. To me, it made guys who had no business winning games. It actually gave them a shot to win games. And it gave guys like, and I don't know, Joke won without a quarterback, which I mean, I thought Joke deservingly so still deserved to win that game just because his defense was unreal in that game. So he played to the strengths of the game. So I applaud him for doing that. But like, you have other guys like, especially like in the Madden Club Championships or the Club Series that was going on. Like I remember, dude who actually made the live event, who did the same thing as Joke, who didn't bring a quarterback and was running, I think he was in the Raiders Club Series. I don't know what his name is though, but he did the same thing. He didn't put a punter. He put like a low cap quarterback, like a bronze or a silver, and you knew he wasn't gonna throw. And dude you could tell like dude had no business being at a live event. He just got really lucky with how the game was this year, because chances are that dude's not going to make another live event ever again in his Madden career. So definitely, I don't mind the running game being good. It's just I feel like it has to be balanced, or there has to be a way to counter it, in my opinion. Just because coming from me, just kind of my play style, I like to play very balanced. Try to play not, I don't try to be very predictable. I try to, kind of mix things up in terms of the run pass. I'm kind of like a, 50-50 or 60-40 type split as far as what I do in terms of Madden. But, I mean, even there to be times myself where I would just find myself just running the ball because it was that easy in that case. So, I don't think that, hopefully they do fix that this year though. But, again, kind of one of those things where time will tell really at that point. And then really the last thing, this is more for the competitive scene. I think what they need to do in terms of MCS, obviously I could just, take the easy route and be like, they need to increase the prize pool, which they definitely do need to, just because I think it's been the same for like the past like 2 or 3 seasons or whatever. So, I mean, don't get me wrong, like the money's cool and whatnot, but for the amount of time that you have to put in to prepare and to make a live event and to make a deep run, like, to me anyways, I don't think it's worth it, at least in this case. I think what they need to do in terms of MCS structure, especially if they want to grow this esport, if that's what they want to call it, if they want to grow it as much as they say they want to, they need to provide more opportunities, and in doing so, it's going to provide more exposure to Madden. I mean, I think it's great, that, they're putting the game, tournaments on like ESPN2, but to be honest though, like, I don't really know too many people besides like people that actually play Madden that were actually going to watch that, competition on ESPN2, which I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it was the LCQ and then the Madden Bowl that were on ESPN2, but I'd have to go back and look at the ratings. I don't think it did that well, in my opinion, in that case, just because it was kind of in like a weird time slot, and like, people had other things to do besides just watch Madden, in my opinion. So I think with providing more opportunities, whether it be like weekly tournaments or like monthly tournaments, I think that'd be cool, because for example, you look at another game, and I hate to compare it to, because it's just leaps and bounds, just completely different, but like Fortnite, for example, probably one of the biggest, if not the biggest, esport that's going on right now. And if I'm not mistaken, they have like weekly tournaments, and where they're giving out some serious money in those tournaments. So I think, I'm not saying you got to do that either, but I think like I said, just to kind of reiterate, I think with providing more opportunities, it'll provide more exposure and really get more people to come in to want to play Madden, because when you think of fan bases, I don't think there's really a bigger fan base than the NFL, in my opinion, when it comes to like professional sports. So obviously they have a crowd that they can go to. It's just they gotta let people know, because to this day there's still people that I'll talk to about Madden and whatnot, and I'll let them know about like the tournaments, and they have zero idea that this was even a thing in their opinion. So I think there is an opportunity there, but it's just with with EA, they really have to act upon that. They have to act upon that. So really, in this case, I mean, that's really kind of what my thoughts are, at least at this point. And I know this is just kind of like a ramble video at this point, but like I mentioned, this was just kind of straight up off the top of my head. No No script, no nothing, just kind of me, just kind of freestyling and putting it all together. If you guys did notice too, I did kind of switch up my setup. I'm actually working on building a setup right now for like my Twitch streams or whatnot. I have like my screens right here. I have my laptop here. I'm just waiting for my PC build to come in, and we're gonna hit the ground running for Madden 21. So if you guys are looking forward to that, and if you guys enjoyed videos like this, I'd appreciate you guys hitting that like button. And then, like I mentioned before, if you guys are looking forward to more content like this and then fresh new content once Madden 21 comes out, consider subscribing to the channel. And until the next one, guys, this is Dre Knows, and I'm signing out.